Hello, everyone. We are live. Give us a second. We got to refresh our YouTube so we can see your wonderful comments and pixels. Make sure our microphones are working. Can you all hear me? Seems to be working fine. Hi, Jess. How are you today?
I'm feeling a little prickly.
Oh, no. That could make this fun.
Yeah.
All right. So can everyone hear us okay? Sound seems to be working. Jess, do a mic check so they can hear you.
Hello, hello, hello.
All right. Can you all hear us? To me, Jess sounds perfectly loud. I know a lot of people have had trouble hearing her in the past. So if Jess seems quiet, please let us know. We can ask her to bump up the volume or something. Everyone says they can hear you. All right. Excellent.
Good.
Yeah. So what are we doing here today, guys? Today we have a status conference hearing that'll be starting in about 30 minutes with Judge Boyce. This was the hearing that was scheduled on March 8th. During that hearing, that actually went into the breakout room and it was sealed. So we don't get to know what they were talking about. However, we can surmise a fair bit. Given Mark Means' last objection that he filed with the court, he stated that there was a suspension of some sorts in the case. So that's probably what today is about. They decided on March 8th things needed to be put on hold for a little while, and today is the day where they go back to the judge and say, yes, we're ready to proceed, or no, we need more time, Your Honor, so on and so forth. That's what I expect to hear today in court. Not the most exciting of hearings. It will probably be in a breakout room, although we may get some discussion before and after. So who knows, we may end up talking about Jess's hedgehog today. So Jess, how is your hedgehog doing?
She is prickly today, too. All I got out of her this morning was, I need more worms and a hiss. And then she crawled back in her igloo and said, that's enough people today. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Can't blame her.
Me either. I'm on her side today. I want to go hide in an igloo and be prickly. So
Yeah.
yeah, chat should be fun today with all of us being prickly.
Yep.
All
No,
right,
I'm
so
in a pretty good mood.
let's catch up on some of the news that's happened over the last week in the case. The biggest news was that we have some videos that were released from Alex Cox's death, the day he died, when first responders went to their home. The body cam footage has been released and made public. I have a video on that on the channel, but we can go through a little bit of it here since we have some time before the hearing starts. And talk about what we got out of those videos. They're kind of long, so I'm not going to show all of it. I think the entire body of it is about 2 or 3 hours, so we're not going to do that. But I do have some queued up and ready to go. So do you guys want to take a look at one of those and talk about what we hear?
Yeah.
All right, I'll put that on the screen. You should be able to hear it. Let me know.
15 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Okay, who found him?
My mother called me and she said go check on him.
Okay. So, where was your mom at?
My mom was at work. She just barely got home.
Okay.
And she ran in and helped me with the CPR and stuff because I was having an anxiety attack.
Okay.
The person on the phone was trying to tell me to put the fingers in his mouth to remove the vomit.
Right.
CPR,
Right.
but I
Come on over here.
I couldn't do any of that. I'm sorry.
Okay. So, who is he to you? Is it your dad?
No, that's my mom's boyfriend.
Your mom's boyfriend? Okay.
Yeah.
So,
But imagine it was just like real quick. My mom called me. She told me to go in there. He's on the floor. There's feces. There's vomit.
okay.
And he's naked. And
No, I get it. You're fine, man. So, why had she not heard from him? What was the deal that she called you to go check on
I
him?
don't know if he called her or my mom called me. She said, "Go check on him. He's
Okay.
on the floor."
Okay. Had she talked to him or? Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm going to pause that right there. First, sorry about the beeping. That's from the body cam. I did drop the volume of that in the video that I put up, but I can't do that here live. Sorry about that. I know that's loud. But what we just heard, and Jess, tell me if I'm wrong, but this struck me as odd. We've read all of the PDF files from the police department, and nowhere does it ever mention that Zulema told her son Joseph that she knew Alex was already on the floor. He just said that. He said, she told me to go check on him. He was on the floor. That was the first big new thing that I got from that.
I wonder if it's a punctuation kind of thing. Is he running it all together and that's actually two statements? She called me and then he was on the floor. There was vomit and feces or whatever. I don't know. I don't know
I
how to
wondered
take
that
it.
too, but later on in the video, he does confirm, or she confirms, one of them confirms that she knew he was on the floor when she
Yeah.
called Joseph. So that was very strange to me.
Yeah, I think the thing that stuck out the most to me in this little clip was whenever he starts being asked questions, he says, "Hold on a minute." Like he needed to tell his version of the story, like to get it all out. Like it's something you had to remember. You know what I mean? Instead
Mm,
of just answering whatever he was going to be asked, he was like, "Wait, let me tell you, let me tell you the narrative, or whatever." Could be completely innocent. That's just what stuck out to me.
yeah. I do feel bad for him. He had a lot of anxiety dealing with this. It was very hard for him, certainly pretty traumatic, I would expect. And he learned a lot. He had to learn this day that Alex was actually married to his mom. He didn't even know that. That's
Yeah.
kind of a problem. But yeah, let's listen to the rest of this clip. It's only a few more seconds. Then we can go to another one.
She told you he was on the floor?
Yeah,
Or?
she said he was having some problems.
Okay.
Yep. So, whoops. Right there at the end, he says, "She told you he was on the floor?" And she said, "Yeah." So that strikes me as interesting because it tells me that whoever was on the phone with Alex doing that blessing, which now we believe is Chad, that's been confirmed by Nate Eaton. He says, confirmed from multiple sources, that Chad Daybell was the one who called to give the blessing. But I don't have any actual confirmation of that, but I trust Nate. If that's what Nate says, okay, great. So Chad's on the phone, knows that he's on the floor, texts Zulema, says, "You got to get home." He must have communicated to Zulema that Alex was on the floor. And Zulema calls Joseph and says, "Go check on him. He's on the floor." That's something we hadn't heard before. And that just struck me as very, very strange.
And why didn't she call 911 and say, whatever she was going to say, to get them moving instead of calling Joseph first? I think I would have called 911.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I mean, obviously, I'm not in the situation, but in my brain, I would have been like, okay, if somebody told me they were on the floor and whatever, I would have called 911 before I had somebody go back in and look at him.
Yep. Now, this next one, there's one video that has her reaction when they tell her that they need a search warrant. She got very upset. I'm not sure if that's this one or not. Let's see.
He was talking.
Oops, sorry about that beep.
And he was talking to one of my friends on the phone because he said that he wasn't feeling well. So my friends said that they would give him a blessing. So they were giving him a blessing over the phone. And then my friends texted me and said, "You better get home now."
I think this is where she's giving some personal details, and they edited the audio out. But in this one, she's saying that, Chad, her friend, was giving him a blessing over the phone. And, we know that was Chad. So does that not seem strange to you? I mean, I don't know. This whole blessing thing, it sounds like I want to see it as innocent, as, well, we knew he was really sick, so Chad called him to kind of give him a blessing so he would feel better. And then he dies while he's on the phone with him, more or less. Do you not see a problem there?
I guess I'm not Mormon and I don't have a whole lot of experience with that kind of thing. So when I heard that, when I read it in my head, it kind of sounded like Catholics doing the last rite. Is that what it is? Is that what they're considering a blessing, or is this like I'm Southern Baptist? You call people and you say you're going to pray for them. You pray over people, whatever. Is it that kind of a thing, or is it like a last rites kind of thing? Did they know he was going to die? I mean, I think we know what we think.
Right.
Is that why they were doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know?
I don't know. I don't. And,
Yeah.
I don't know if we're ever going to get those answers. It depends. Certainly if they follow up on this case and it goes to trial at some point, but
Right.
technically this doesn't have all that much to do with the current charges. So is this even going to come up in court? We don't know, but we're going to have to wait and see. Remember, according to the law, where Alex died, this was considered natural causes. I don't think any of us really totally believe that. Not 100%. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. Now, let me see if I can find the other video.
Do you
which
think,
was
like when I heard it, the way I know that she's probably in a state. But don't you think her being breathless kind of seems manufactured? Not like a naturally anxious one. It seemed really manufactured to me.
I
That's the
think
word I want to use.
when we deal with a lot of the females in this case and their very high-pitched voices that they use, that doesn't sound authentic to me.
Yeah.
So, and her being breathless, I mean, it looks like she's sitting on a couch or something. Maybe she had just run down the stairs because they were upstairs at one point, or, who knows? But
Yeah.
it doesn't sound natural. I totally agree on that. So let's play this next clip and see what happens here.
Our detectives are coming out. If you guys are not transporting him, just leave them be because we have other stuff to do with the house.
Okay, we always do. If we pronounce him here, we'll keep him as a crime scene. So, anything else with drugs? Anything else that she's not telling us?
We don't know. One of our detective sergeants.
Somebody's been working something on him?
Yeah, I have no idea what it is or what's going on. Yeah.
All right, now this was an important clip to me because we find out they reference one of their sergeants or lieutenants who is actually Ron Pillar, who we know was already looking at Alex in regards to the shooting attempt of Brandon Boudreaux. So they're aware of who Alex is. They know that they've already been looking at him, and they're talking about, well, should we transport him? Should we wait? What else is going on in the house? And even asking, is this drugs or something? Do we know what she's telling us? So they're already voicing a lot of suspicions and concerns about the investigation that's ongoing against Alex Cox at this time. What did you think of that clip, Jess?
I think the thing that bothers me is like when we find out, oh yeah, there are certain law enforcement people that are like in the know about this case before some of these people wind up dead. But then at the same time, it's like, but there's still all these victims that fell through the cracks, even though so many people, waved a red flag. I think that's what it sucks. They knew who Alex was when they came to this because of his other involvement. And it's like, but there's still dead people,
Oops, stop that. Sorry. Computer's arguing. All right, here, let's listen to the last few seconds of this video. Not that we could hear anything, but anyway, that's that one. And here's the next one.
Okay, so we're definitely not trying to make things worse, ma'am. We're not trying to have anybody feel bad or be anxious, but someone died in your house today, and we're not going to leave your house until we finish that investigation. So, and we're going to secure it while we seek a search warrant from the judge. And if the judge grants it, then we'll conduct a search as necessary to finish the death investigation. If the judge doesn't, then we will leave. But for right now, we're going to stand by in the house and control individuals' movements in the house. They're not required to stay here, so if they'd like to leave, they are free to leave. But we will not be leaving the house at this time.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So why are you saying that someone died in the house when he wasn't even pronounced dead until he was in the hospital?
Well, the incident started here. I get that he was pronounced deceased at the hospital, but all of that started here. It didn't start in the hospital. It started in this house. Okay? And like I said, we're not trying to traumatize anybody. We're not trying to push this. And okay, you have your right to that opinion. I understand that, man. We have a job to do, and unfortunately, sometimes that ends up making people feel uncomfortable. That's not our intent, but we have our job to do. So that's kind of where we stand right now. And your children that are here are adults, and they're free to leave. We're not holding them here. So, but we are going to hold the house while we seek the search warrant. And they're not necessarily free to move around the house and just go do whatever they want. So they can leave the house. They're free to leave that, but they're not free to wander around the house while we secure it. Okay?
Okay. I'm going to get a hold of my lawyer and see if then he can maybe give you a call back.
Okay. I have no need to speak to your lawyer because it's not going to change anything, but you're more than welcome to give him a call. You have every right to.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
Are you guys on your way here?
I'm gonna leave right now whether they let me or not.
Yeah, so that's kind of interesting, don't you think? Oh, somebody's
So
asking in
where
chat.
was she? Where was
That
she
she
when
was on
they
the
called?
phone. That was
Yeah,
on the
where
phone.
was
She was
she
at
though?
the hospital or had just left the hospital when she called them at
Okay.
that point. And I mean, it's the whole thing is so suspicious. You know, why are you still at my house? She says at one point, either in this clip or a different one, that they were traumatizing her children by being there, and she's going to call her lawyer. And why are you considering a death investigation at my house when he was pronounced dead at the hospital, not at the house? And it's like, wow, all right, that just seems like not a normal response. What do you think?
It makes me go back to the Rosenbaum case, you know, when you see Joe and what's her Jennifer, when the cops are going through the house because they called 911 and they were like, this little girl died at the hospital, but this was bad, you know. Even they weren't that crazy. It's very weird. Also, their voices all sound fake. Why is it all the women in this case, their voices are off? You know what I mean?
Yes. Yep, they
That
are.
sticks out to me every time I talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yep.
coming from me with a really bad accent, but still.
Now, there is another clip of the police body cam that's over on East Idaho News. It's linked in my other video. I'll try to get a link to it while we're live. Nate Eaton had a longer clip where they were talking. They're upstairs. The paramedics are working on Alex's body, and the two officers are talking. And one of them says that they found blowtorches downstairs and Cialis. And they're like, oh, so we're thinking drugs, huh? That's interesting. Okay, but they said they found that downstairs. We still have the question that has bothered you and I for a long time. What did they find on the floor in the bathroom that made them decide it was a crime scene and not a natural death? That's still redacted. We still don't know what that is. So, you know, there's that.
I keep wanting
But
to play out that he wrote out a confession.
mm,
Wouldn't that be such a nice little ending?
that would
But
be
really,
something.
blowtorches? Blowtorches? What are they doing with blowtorches?
Maybe they're the kinds used, to make desserts or something. Culinary ones. Oh, that's the one we just watched. Sorry. Let me get the next one.
Maybe they had a craving for creme brulee and Cialis. I'm not sure.
The Cialis is also interesting given his his other issues, his alleged cardiac issues. Taking Cialis probably might not be the best thing for that. I don't know. All right, but here's the last clip that we have to show today. So let's put that up, and here we go.
Oh, so no illegal drugs?
No, he doesn't use any illegal drugs.
No drugs, no alcohol?
He doesn't use alcohol, no.
Okay. Has he been, I sure tell you, been sick lately?
No, he's just been shortness of breath.
When he's walking or when he's sleeping, shortness of breath? Does he go for a walk without getting short of breath?
Well, he'll go up the stairs and he will get short of breath.
Going up the stairs.
Going up the stairs, and then the last couple of days has been when he gets up, he's like, oh, I feel so winded.
And he hasn't gone to a doctor for that, nothing like that?
No, I've been asking for that.
Does he see a doctor on a regular basis?
No, he doesn't. I mean, he's just the healthiest person that you can imagine. I mean, he's just so healthy.
And what's your
I'm sorry. He's so healthy.
Yeah,
he's the
he's
healthiest
just so
person
healthy.
you know. Have you seen the guy? How many people would say truck drivers are the healthiest people they know?
Yep.
I mean, really? No.
Yeah, that was.
If he was going to Mexico to get medicine, that's probably why there's not a prescription. I know a lot of people have brought that up. Who prescribed him medication? That's not what you need to get medicine in Mexico.
Yeah, Zulema did say that he went to Mexico a few days before to get some medications. She did not specify what medications, at least publicly anyway. So, and the PDF files from the police department do not specify what medicines he got. So it could have been Cialis, could have been something else. Who knows? But yeah,
do they need
so
to take
healthy.
her? She sounds pretty short of breath right about there.
Yes, she does. Yep.
Her natural cause is contagious.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yep.
Such a weird conversation. She still doesn't sound. I mean, I understand people are in shock, but I mean, it's been a couple of hours. Where's the I can't think straight. I'm grief stricken. My brand new husband just killed over.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's not there.
Yep. So to clarify, there's some questions in chat. Zulema herself did tell the police that Alex had gone to Mexico several days before to get some medications. She does not specify which medication that was, but they did find, at least, well, we don't know for sure because it's not in the papers, but in this recording, one of the officers says that he found Cialis downstairs. So we don't know who it was prescribed to, if it was from Mexico, no idea. It's just one of the officers casually mentions we found some blowtorches and Cialis downstairs. So that's all we know. So don't read into that too much. You know, there's a lot of possibilities, but that's what we know. It's kind of crazy.
Didn't we go back and look it up? And you said he was on gabapentin or
Yep.
gabapentin's
in his tox
And
screen.
I've been on that. Yeah, that's for neuropathy.
Mhm.
That's what I was prescribed for it for. But that is a controlled substance too.
Yeah.
But that's the only medication that I saw on the tox screen anyway.
Yep. So if you want to watch the whole entire body cam, it's several hours. Pretty Lies and Alibis has that up. I have some clips up that I thought were the most important ones in a video from last week. And that's what we know about Alex. So it added another layer of this is not right to my brain, but it certainly didn't give me any more answers than I had before.
Yeah. Can you imagine though, fast forward this a year or 6 months, how many of the dead people would have been labeled as coronavirus deaths? I think that's a good point. They probably could have got away with this a lot easier if they had anything to do with it. You know, allegedly, however you got to wrap that.
Yep.
Because it says natural causes, but I think that absolutely would have gotten a coronavirus slapped on it real fast if this had happened 6 months down the road.
Yep. To me, in my mind, that's a lot what Tammy's death sounds like. Now, certainly, they weren't they weren't aware of coronavirus in December or October or whatever of 2019. But, you know, it certainly fits a lot of the symptoms that we hear. But we don't know. We have not seen Tammy's autopsy yet. Hopefully, we'll get some more information on that one of these days. But we are still waiting. So Cialis, somebody is asking, it is a medication prescribed for erectile dysfunction in men. Generally, you wouldn't think of taking that if you have heart issues. So, you know, I don't know. But we don't know it was Alex's. We have no idea whose it was. So let's keep that in mind.
Yeah, it could have been Zulema's. You never know.
There we go. There's a conspiracy to start, Jess. Good job. Good job. You heard it first from us, folks. Oh, yeah. But looking over Alex's tox screen, there's no mention of a Cialis type drug in there. So maybe he wasn't taking it. Could have been somebody else's.
Maybe that's why Zulema said to call the doctor. Maybe it had been 4 hours. We don't know.
Oh, goodness. Let's see. Let's check over in chat.
You have to find something to laugh at because it's terrible.
Yep. All right. The hearing should be starting in a few minutes. And just to go over what we're going to see today, if we see anything at all. On March 8th, they agreed to some sort of, as Mark Mean says, something in the case was suspended. Those are his words from his objection. And then a status conference was set for today. So today, the lawyers will be meeting with the judge to give an update on whatever it was that caused the suspension of things for a while. So I expect that they will do that in a breakout room. We might hear an argument about discovery because the judge had ordered Rob Wood to turn over several items of discovery. Rob Wood filed a response saying he doesn't want to. So that's going to be an issue. They may take that up today. We'll find out. But I think most of today will be a sealed hearing. They'll be privately discussing with the judge. But hopefully we'll see something. I do not think we're going to see Chad and Lori. A lot of people asking. They don't usually come to these procedural type hearings. There's no real need for them to be there. So I don't expect to see them. So what are you hoping we see today, Jess?
I have no idea. I hope we see the new prosecutor, Rachel Smith. I don't know if we will because she's not on Lori's case, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to see anymore. We'll probably see antlers. Like we'll see that. I'm sure we'll see John Pryor looking very toadish and not smiling. That's all my expectations are today.
Mm-hmm.
Not very high.
Yeah. Someone's asking about the blowtorches.
No.
In my mind, when I first heard that, I thought like the little culinary blowtorches you can get for your kitchen. But I have no idea what kind of blowtorches. They could have been big industrial ones. They could have been, who knows? Who knows? So maybe we'll find out. Maybe not. But it's not in the PDF file. They don't mention that anywhere. So that was kind of curious.
It's like a MacGyver puzzle. They find 5 things in the house. It's like, what can you do with Cialis and blowtorches and a
Mhm.
hugging therapist and a kid playing the Xbox? Go.
Yep.
I can name that tune in 3 notes, Alex. I have no idea what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
No idea.
People are asking if we're going to see Rachel Smith today. It's possible that she will be there with Rob Wood, although at this point in time, she has not been approved by the court to be on the case against Lori Vallow, only against Chad Daybell. So that could cause some problems for today if she was there or not. So we're going to have to see what happens with her. I do expect her.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I said somebody was asking if we were going to see Chad and Lori. I highly doubt it.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. No. They haven't been at any of these procedural hearings so far. There's no reason to think that they will be here today. Though a lot of people are very curious to see what Lori looks like at this point. She's been in jail for over a year now. You know, it would be kind of nice to get an updated picture.
People are asking about the rumor about Alex being gay. The rumor came from Alex. He made a joke about it in his little stand-up routine. Whether or not it's true, I don't know. There are a few women who have come forward from his past and say they dated Alex. So, you know, holding him to a joke that he made in a stand-up routine, I wouldn't say that's really cause to think that he is. If there are women coming forward that say they dated him, I'm more likely to believe that since there's more than one. I don't know. But this whole maybe he needed to consummate the marriage, I don't think they were that. You know, this isn't back in the Tudor days. I don't think they're holding that to anybody. You know, I don't know. It's such a weird. The whole case is weird.
Yes, it is.
You know, why did they get together? Why did any of these people get together? You know.
Mm-hmm. But we have to be very careful to keep the rumors as rumors. None of us know if Alex was gay or not. It's certainly possible. It's possible he wasn't. You know, who knows?
It just doesn't really change anything. I guess that's the point I'm making. It really doesn't matter. You know, if he was, whatever. Elton John's, you know, as gay as it gets. He was married to a woman at one point. You know, do with that what you will. People make decisions like that all the time. So.
Yep. And hearing should be starting in 2 minutes. I'm refreshing to make sure we don't miss a single second of this. Because, you know.
Lori Hellis. Lori Hellis is in chat.
Hi, Lori. How are you doing? Lori Hellis, if you guys don't know her, she's a retired criminal defense attorney who's writing some books and going to be covering this case. You can sign up for her newsletter on her website, thelorivallowstory.com. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. I also had the privilege of sitting down with her for a long question and answer session, and that is on my channel. You can watch that out. And she has promised to come back. So we're going to do another one, and she'll answer all of your guys' questions about the case, all this crazy legal stuff that we're learning about. So she has been an amazing resource for everyone here in this community, and we absolutely love her. So hi, Lori. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you had a wonderful Easter. So no hearing yet. I keep refreshing.
Maybe I'll catch it before you do the next time, like I did last time.
Yeah. You might. Oh, all right. So I do expect this to be starting any minute. The last time they were a little bit late. I do think that they will meet with the judge, at least on camera, and we'll get to see that for a while until they break out into their little private room because they don't want us to know anything fun.
Somebody's asking in chat about the basket. From what Zalimbus said, as as far as I know, she said she asked, even though she tried to talk him into going to the emergency room, she then asked him to make a holiday basket for somebody that she worked with. So I'm guessing, like, a fruit basket or some kind of gift, whatever, for a coworker. But that makes zero sense. Oh my God, you need to go to the emergency room. Never mind, get in the car, drive around town, and pretend to be Martha Stewart.
Yep.
How about it? Why
Yep.
not get your son off the couch? Hey, can you go pick up some crap for me?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense. I want to know what the kid was doing. I keep saying he's a kid. He's an adult, but
Yeah.
he didn't, like, Alex didn't scream, or he didn't hear Alex fall, like anything. His mom had to call him.
Yep. But then again, I know from playing video games with really good headphones, I couldn't hear if somebody fell in the next room. I wouldn't hear it. So I can see that.
Yeah.
But Miss B. Lassie is asking how long this hearing is going to last today. I don't think it's going to be very long. I think they'll be in the breakout room maybe 20, 30 minutes, maybe another 10 minutes live where we can hear them. So I would say overall an hour or less, unless something good happens. You never know. It's possible.
We do know this was Alex's first marriage, correct? We verified that at one point, didn't we? Alex had never been married before this, right?
Correct. As far as we know, I've never found another marriage for him. So
wasn't Zalima's first.
No, it was like her 14th, 27th.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, Zulema's has had about 7 or 8 marriages at that point. So
yeah.
And Mercini asked where are our antlers. We still have the antler amicus logo up there, but we're just not on camera today. I have a tooth abscessing, I think, and half my face is swollen, and I look terrible. So I am not on camera, and Jess is not on camera either. So we're not wearing our antlers, but we have them.
Listen,
absolutely.
You don't know I'm not wearing my antlers. You have no idea. I could be wearing them right now. You wouldn't know.
Yep. And let's see. Crime Powwow says, Awen, last week you didn't think we would see them at all, and a lot happened. What? I didn't think we'd see who at all.
The last hearing. We didn't know if it was going to be able for us to watch.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah.
So I'm hoping that we will get to see some stuff today. That'll be good. And they're a minute late, 2 minutes late. So any second this should be starting. This, the air of excitement. I don't think we're not going to get murder charges today. Someone asked if we're going to see murder charges. Rob Wood is not going to drop murder charges in the middle of a procedural hearing. That would happen outside of the courtroom, I am sure. So unfortunately, I don't see that happening.
But if they add Rachel to Lori's case, there's nothing in the way anymore, correct?
Well, it depends on why we're having the status conference.
Yeah.
See, we're missing some very key pieces of information about what's happening with the lawyers right now. Mark Means did say the word suspended in his last objection, which makes me think that there's everything's on hold for right now, which is why all those motions were vacated. But we don't know why. Why would they need that? We don't know who asked for the suspension. Was it Means? Was it Pryor? Was it Rob Wood? We don't know. But there's something going on, and that we're missing a big puzzle piece. But as soon as we find that out, it'll all make sense.
I don't know about if it will all make sense.
Well,
There's
no.
nothing about this case that makes a whole lot of sense.
That is a very good point.
Yeah.
Just checking all the websites. It has not started yet. East Idaho News is on it too. They just have the live stream starting shortly logo up because we're all just waiting. Wait and see what happens. I think even if they are going to go into the breakout room and at least start public, we'll be able to see them because they've done that every time before. Yeah.
On the record that they're going to go to a breakout room.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll mess up the breakout room and they'll pop in and pop out and grab some more people, let some people out. And
now, when it starts,
while they do that.
Once it begins, one thing I want all of you to listen very carefully for. The judge should ask John Pryor, is your client waiving their right to appear today? Something to that effect. He'll say, yep, I spoke with Chad and he doesn't need to be here today, right? Because Chad has to waive his right to be at this hearing. The judge should ask Mark Means that same question. All right. So pay attention to that, because that's a clue of something that I am heading towards. I have some pretty strong suspicions about what's going on. I cannot verify them, so I can't just throw it out there. But listen to that, because that'll be a clue. The judge should ask both attorneys if their clients have waived their right to appear today. Okay? Just saying. Sneaky,
Justin Lum's
sneaky.
in chat too. You should say hi to him.
Wait, is that Justin? Is that really you? Where? Justin, if that is Justin, hi and congratulations. The baby is so amazingly beautiful. Justin Lum and his wife just had their first child, and that is the most beautiful baby I've ever seen. So follow him on Twitter, JLumFox10 or JLum10. It's linked in the description. I forget what it is off the top of my head. He's on Facebook. You can find him everywhere. But Justin is the one who brings us most of the court documents before anyone else does. So please give him a follow. He has been relentless covering this case, and most of what we know has come from him. So yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations on the baby. What was it? He said that daddy life is busy.
Oh yeah.
That's a change. But it's also the best. Daddy life is best life.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it. This is his first, right? And that,
yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. My oldest son turns 18 today. I'm telling you, enjoy every minute of it. Take so many pictures, because you'll blink and it's gone.
Justin says, Baby G is reviewing documents as we speak. Good. We really need another set of eyes.
Absolutely. Fresh eyes at that, right?
Yep. Baby G is gonna break the case. Be like, look at this, Dad. Look, you missed this. Whoa.
Yeah. This thing will go to trial about the time that kid is taking the bar. He'll be
right
by the time it goes to trial.
Oh goodness.
My goodness.
Oh, all right. So we are still waiting for this to start. It's not up yet. Let's hope that they're not having, because last time they did some housekeeping before they brought it live. So let's hope they're not doing that for another hour, because that's boring. But yeah, also speaking of Justin Lum, the video clips of the Alex Cox body cam footage that came from Justin first. That's where I saw them first. So you definitely want to follow him if you want to get the stuff as soon as it comes out, instead of waiting for a day for the rest of us to catch up. Justin has contacts that most normal mortals don't have. So there you go.
I love to watch you two fight over who can get documents up on Twitter first.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
yep. There's been, I think, once, maybe twice, where I actually got the documents up before Justin did. But he was busy having a baby. So I was like, haha, it's my chance to shine.
Yeah.
That was funny. Oh. All right, and Shining Bearable has popcorn ready. All right. I'm still watching. I'm just sitting here clicking. If you hear the clicking, just clicking on the screens, waiting for something to pop. Oh. So, let's see. Means is still trying to get Wood off the case somehow. Didn't he respond to Judge allowing Smith on the case? Monique, he did respond to Rob Wood's pro hac vice motion about Lori Vallow. His first and only legal argument in his entire objection was that this shouldn't be taken up right now as an issue, because something was suspended in the case, like a hold was placed, and so this shouldn't be taken up. And the judge did not hear the argument for Rachel Smith to become the prosecutor in Lori's case. For some reason, John Pryor went along with it and said, okay, well, he objected, but he went with it, and they heard it for Chad. They did not hear it for Lori's case, which really set my mind spinning. So I'm not sure exactly what's happening. I have some ideas, but we'll get to that as soon as we know more. But as far as Rachel Smith goes, at this point in time, she has not been, the pro hac vice motion for her has not been granted by the court for Lori's case, only for Chad's case. That's going to complicate things as the cases are joined and we have these joint hearings and things. Because can she be there but only talk about Chad? How does that work? That's a problem. Definitely a problem. So we may hear about that today. I don't know. Yeah, Mark Means' objection to the pro hac vice was pretty long. It was very philosophical, more than legal. I read through it, and although he does raise some good sort of philosophical points and objections, they're not actual legal arguments, except for the first one, which said that the case is for some reason suspended for a time, and this shouldn't be heard. So, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Mercini says, "I bet they're already in the breakout room." They could be. They certainly could be. In which case, we're just going to have to talk for an hour.
I know a lot of people are wanting the murder charges. That's all. Do we think the murder charges are coming? I think when you see that Rachel Smith is being added, and she is a heavily experienced death penalty prosecutor, that's nothing but hope on our side. I think that shows that the charges are coming. When they'll happen, I don't know. But I think getting Rachel Smith on the case is definitely a step in the right direction, and we're probably a lot closer to it.
Yep. All right, we should have something on the screen in a minute. It looks like they are actually in a breakout session at this time, according to Nate Eaton. So I do have permission from Nate to stream his live stream, but I'd rather just do it straight from the judge's thing. So waiting to see if that comes up. If it doesn't, then I'll put Nate's stream up on the screen with all credit to East Idaho News. But we are still waiting. We're not missing anything yet. So there you go.
Yeah, somebody was asking, do we think Rachel's going to be added to Lori's case? I don't know of a reason why she wouldn't be. I mean, I'm sure he can object to it, but I don't.
I'm sure she will be.
Yeah,
but there's got to be a specific reason that we don't know of why the judge has not heard that yet for Lori's case specifically. So, but I'm sure when they are able to hear it, she will be added.
People are still talking about the blowtorches. Do you want to talk about that for a minute?
Sure.
I have absolutely 0% expectation that they used blowtorches on Tylee. We do know that her remains were burnt, but she was found next to a fire pit. I think that's far more likely. I don't think even Chad and Alex would be stupid enough to try to.
Okay, hold on. The hearing is live. I'm not getting it. Hold on one second. I'm not getting it on the judge's thing, so I'm going to bring it on this. Hold on one second. Dang it. Why are they doing this? Share screen with audio.
Case CR 2220.
Here we go.
8 State versus Lori Vallow Daybell. This is the time set for a hearing on a status conference representing the state in this case. Our prosecutors Rob Wood and Rachel Smith on behalf of the defendant, Mr. Daybell. Mr. Pryor's appearing and Mr. Means is appearing on behalf of Mrs. Vallow Daybell. So, counsel, we do have a trial scheduled in this matter, July 12th through the 30th. Our pretrial conference is June 2nd, so not too far down the road. We did set a status conference back in March to discuss, I think, counsel's preparedness and thoughts on our existing trial setting. So that'll be the first issue I'll raise, and then I'll let counsel bring up any other issues they think we need to discuss today. But Mr. Wood, what are your thoughts on our current trial setting in July, which is set for the 12th through the 30th?
Your Honor, the state can do that. I know that at our last hearing, I believe Mr. Pryor said he may be asking for a continuance. Like I said, we can be ready to go, but if counsel wishes for a continuance, we're not opposed to that either.
All right, Mr. Pryor, why don't we go to you next on behalf of your client, Mr. Daybell.
Judge, I think there are a couple of matters that are going to need to be heard prior to that time. A venue motion, obviously. I anticipate, I don't think it's a surprise to anyone that a severance motion will probably be coming down the line as well. In addition, and I'm not going to address this in detail today, but having gone through all of the discovery that I've been provided at this point, I still have about 30 items on my list that I need to discuss with Mr. Wood and Ms. Smith in terms of items that I'm going to need them to provide me. I don't know how long that's going to take or what that process is going to involve. So my position is simply that I'm going to clearly need more time, and I think now would be the time to set this out. And I anticipate at least 90 days beyond the current setting date, Judge, is what I would need it as a minimum.
You're saying 90 days additional past the trial date for you to be prepared for trial?
Beyond the August start, the end of August, actually, Judge, is what I'm anticipating. I'm looking at October and November, Judge, is what I'm thinking, just because the amount of discovery that I'm looking at is significant, and I'm going to need those items before I'm going to be able to be effectively prepared for this.
Okay, so just to be clear then, you're making a motion to continue the trial?
I am, Judge.
All right, Mr. Means, where are you in terms of preparedness for trial with your client at this point?
I think it would have to be vacated and reset, Your Honor. I have no objection to the timeline that Mr. Pryor presented or stated to the court. I think that's probably at a minimum as far as the timeout.
All right, I'll go back to you then, Mr. Wood. There's formally now 2 motions to vacate and continue the July trial setting. Does the state have any objection to the continuance requests?
No objection.
Well, I'll give you the option then. Do you want to look at a scheduling conference at a future date or start looking at calendars now? My trial calendar, as I've advised, is packed through the fall because we're just now starting jury trials again. Finally, we are starting. We've got one happening this week. So there's a lot to get through also though, and some may well take priority over this case in terms of their age or how long somebody's been incarcerated. So we have to look at that. Might take some timing if we're still looking at a 3 to 4 week trials. So I'm somewhat inclined to set a scheduling conference instead of trying to work that into my calendar today. The other thing I guess I'll bring up is on these motions then, if we are still going to hear the motion to change venue and potentially a motion to sever, that's a hearing I think we should get on the calendar and schedule today. And perhaps we could bring up the trial setting at the conclusion of hearing those motions on that same day. So, Mr. Wood, your thoughts on proceeding in that manner?
That's fine with the state.
All right, Mr. Pryor, Mr. Means, is it okay if we set a hearing then today on the venue motion and any other motions? We'll just set a day and then use time at the end of those hearings for a new trial setting.
Judge, I think it'd be important if we do the changing of the trial date as in the form of a status conference. I don't know that that necessarily needs to be disseminated to the public, but as far as the venue motion, I'm comfortable with that. And then as far as scheduling the time for the hearing, again, we're going to be balancing now 4 lawyer schedules as well as a judge, and I think at this point that may be something that could be handled informally.
Okay. And that might be the easiest way to approach it, quite frankly, also, other than us sitting all and thumbing through our calendars, trying to get a time set out this fall, including my schedule is pretty difficult going forward. So we'll get a date. We'll take a look at that. If I want to just contact counsel about scheduling, we'll do that. But let's go ahead. I will then order, based on the motion, I'll grant the motion to vacate and continue the currently scheduled July trial. And let's look at a time then to schedule.
Judge, may I make a suggestion?
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Pryor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Judge, we had an informal pretrial set for the 2nd of June. That would seem to be a logical choice since all of us had to be available at that time as well. So if I would propose a date, I would suggest the 2nd of June as a potential date, if that's acceptable to Mr. Means and Mr. Wood, and if that accommodates Ms. Smith's schedule, Ms. Smith's schedule as well.
Yeah, that's the date I was considering as well, because we did have the hearing set.
That would work for me. Let me just check. Yeah, that works.
I can do June 2nd.
I can as well, Your Honor.
All right. I've got to clarify one thing first. Give me a moment. All right, actually, I'm not going to be able to use that date, counsel. I've got a civil matter for a case that's probably the oldest case on my docket that I promised counsel. It's a bench trial that I'd give them that date for part of their trial. So where I intended this to just be the pretrial conference, we were going to fit this in, but knowing that this will be a probably multi-hour long hearing, I'm going to have to find another date. So June 2nd is not going to work.
What about the week before that, 27th and 28th of May?
I'm not available that week, Judge. I'm sorry.
The following week, let me look. The next week, June 9th, would
That
work.
works for my schedule, Judge.
June 9th would work for my schedule as well, Your Honor.
That works for me.
That works. I can work that out.
Okay, thanks for accommodating that. So we'll schedule the motion for change of trial venue for Wednesday, June 9th at 9:00 a.m. If you've got other motions you want to hear that day also, I'll make it a point to just essentially block the day out to allow for additional hearings. And then we'll also need to get the matter back on the trial calendar either on that time or before then if we figure out new dates for trial. I did fail to note as we started the hearing, we don't have a court reporter available today. I advise counsel of that. So we are recording this live on YouTube for public access. We're also recording it on the FDR system through Fremont County as well as the Zoom software. So I know we've already gone through these issues, but Mr. Wood, do you have any issue with us holding this hearing and having done it today without the court reporter?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thanks, Mr. Means. Any objection to us proceeding as we have today?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Pryor, are you okay with us going forward or having had this hearing today without the court reporter?
There is no objection, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Apologies for not calling that up at the beginning of the case. So we'll get that June 9th set then. I don't think there are any other pending motions or anything scheduled right now for us to consider. So, Mr. Wood.
Your Honor, I do have my two motions to exclude, but we could certainly hear those that morning.
Okay, I'm fine to have those heard that morning also.
Okay.
Objection to scheduling those that time, Mr. Means or Mr. Pryor?
Judge, I think that's fine. I think I already indicated to all of counsel about the name request of the change that I'm asking everybody to use on the one witness. And then I don't know if we've resolved the issue of Mr. Woods allowing his witness to appear by way of Zoom. And I would also make the same request because I anticipate that Mr. Means disclosed an expert witness and I intend to call them and would ask the same, that my expert witness with his formal survey be allowed to appear by Zoom. But I can't recall, Mr. Wood, if that was resolved or not.
I think both, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Means, we had both indicated we would stipulate to that.
So all witnesses can appear by Zoom. I think the court had some hesitancy though.
If there's a stipulation, I'm fine with the appearance of the witnesses by Zoom. If there's an objection, then I think we probably would need to set another hearing prior to the June 9th hearing to make a determination how those witnesses would appear.
And I assume Mr. Means is, we're all going to need to sign that stipulation. Is that correct, Judge?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I don't have anything further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for pointing those matters out. All right, if there's nothing else for this afternoon, then we'll be in recess. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You all.
All right, and that is that. Interesting.
Oh, wow.
All right. First, let's talk about the motion for severance. back a while ago, Lori's and Chad's cases were joined, so they would be heard together instead of having two trials. All of the, just the whole thing. Doing it twice seemed a bit redundant, and goodness. So Rob Wood asked the court to join the trials, and the court agreed. That would make sense. Since then, I've been waiting. I expected John Pryor to file a motion for severance instantly. It hasn't happened, but now it looks like that may be coming up. So there you go. They want their cases separate. They want Chad and Lori to have two separate trials. I get that. That would make, as a defense attorney, I would want them severed too. So, okay, that may come up on June 9th. We'll also hear the change of venue hearing on June 9th and possibly other motions. Now, as Kresha pointed out, Kresha, as you know, is JJ's aunt. June 9th was the date that they found the children in Chad's yard. So a year to the day is when we have another hearing in this case. My goodness. It's hard to believe it's been a year. Jess, you there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that hit me like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow, a year.
Mm-hmm.
But for the people that are upset, I really don't get your hopes up. This is not going to trial this year, people. I don't care what they schedule. It ain't going to go to trial this year, especially if they drop murder charges. It's just not going.
Right. What they're currently arguing are just the conspiracy and the concealment charges for Chad. So, 4 charges for Chad, 2 for Lori. All of this is just about that. And that's not even going to be heard now till maybe the end of the year, maybe later. Once the murder charges do come, we're not going to see trial for quite a while. So interesting.
And you can tell, like, just from that argument that John Pryor gave, he doesn't mind that this gets pushed off. They're still arguing about discovery and all that crap. They are not pushing for this to go quickly either. The further, either in distance by changing the venue or time that they can get away from the time of the crime, the more fair of a trial they think they can get for their clients. They're not going to want to rush this.
Right. Let's get some purple and blue hearts in chat for Kresha. I'm a little thrown by that because in my mind, they just found the kids like last month and all of this stuff is brand new. It's hard when I realized when she said that in chat that it's been an entire year. Yeah. And this hearing in June will have been 1 year to the day that they discovered JJ and Tylee. And I caught my breath when I read that. I really did. So
I think it hit 4 or 5 of us at the same time. We all typed it within one line of each other. It was like, oh man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the hearts in the chat are for Kresha. Kresha, we all love you. Our hearts are with you and your entire family. And thank you for being here. Thank you for the super chats, of course. My darling, I love you. So anytime you need me, I'm here for you. But yeah, 1 year to the day. That, whew,
so
my goodness.
Logistically, if they stipulate the change of venue, they get a new judge, right? So this not only gets kicked down the road a little further, but then they have to get on a court rotation in another county. So this right now they have this case like on the calendar and in the rotation, but to be added to another county, it's going to be kicked even further down the road.
Yeah, it's a very long, legally, the prosecution of this case is going to be very, very challenging. I'm really glad we have Rachel Smith here now to help out with that because it is going to get big, especially if we have 2 concurrent trials running. Hopefully there'll be one first and then the other one, but they could be at the same time in different counties. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But it's going to be a challenging thing. So what do we have next? I expect to see a flurry of filings this week now from Means and Pryor. So we'll bring you up to date on those. The next scheduled hearing will be June 9th. That's going to be a tough day, but we will be here live with that. Goodness, we will hear the change of venue, motion for severance. I'm really not surprised that we're going to hear that. I've been talking about that for months now. How come they haven't filed for severance yet? What's going on? So that could be part of what's going on with the Lori's case issue. Because remember, we had no mention today of Lori's case or any suspension of things or why we haven't heard the Pro Hac Vice for Lori's case yet. So there's something still going on there. I'm going to try and get to the bottom of that. But that's what's going on.
Oh, the people, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the comment that Pryor made about this doesn't need to be done in front of the public wasn't that he wanted a sealed hearing on when to schedule the date. It didn't need to be formal. He was
Right.
saying, can't the four of us just send a group email and decide on a day without meeting and scheduling a Zoom hearing?
Yep.
It wasn't that it's not going to be released or whatever. That's all
Yep.
that was.
Yep, I agree with you. And Susie, thank you for the super chat. Susie says, one step closer. Yep, as frustrating as it is for all of us to hear these hearings and not get anything that looks like happening, every hearing is a step closer. So, it really sucks. But remember, one thing that I say a lot, with all these big murder cases that we may have ever watched, all the trials, those trials are all years in the making. We don't usually see all of this stuff that leads up to the actual trial starting. So that's why it's a little hard for us this time, because we really want to see the trial. We're ready to see the judge. We're ready to see the jury. We're ready to go. But they're not, and they won't be for quite a while. So we're just going to have to grit our teeth and bear it, as it were. Layshell, thank you for the super chat and the super sticker. That's adorable. I really appreciate it. Brennan Tube says, I thought the judge signed off for Rachel Smith on Lori's case. Nope. The only filing that we have from the judge is the, let me tell you the exact name of it so I don't get it wrong. The order granting the motion for Pro Hac Vice admission that has only been filed for Chad's case. Okay. They didn't even hear it for Lori's case. So, and I don't know why. I will try to find out for you. As soon as I know, I'll let you know. And Kresha said she messed. What did you mess? You didn't mess anything up. You sent that on behalf of Tylee and JJ for our random act of kindness for baby Thor, the 18-month-old baby boy murdered by his babysitter. If you guys are in the Facebook group that I used to talk about, True Crime Underground, it's run by Carl Danger. Carl is not just a true crime aficionado, unfortunately, and it's with great sorrow that Carl has actually lived through a murder of a child. So, we got to remember that and take a little, take a moment to send your positive thoughts to Carl Danger as well, because anyone that's been through this is going to need support for the rest of their lives. So my heart goes out to you, Carl. If you're watching, hello. We're thinking of you today. Thank you, Kimberly, for the super chat. What a great sticker. I love that. That's wonderful.
All the really, not all, but the people that have personally been touched by true crime and then get into it, they're the good ones,
Mm-hmm.
It makes you think of, why do I always forget his name? The Echo Search guy.
Oh, Tim Miller.
Yeah.
Tim Miller?
Tim Miller. Yep. Yeah. His story is absolutely heartbreaking. He's still going to court over that. I guess the guy who actually killed his daughter is getting ready to get out, possibly.
Yep.
Yeah, so sad. So sad.
All right, so I'm going to do some digging into, I'm going to rewatch the hearing, listen to it a little closer, because I miss a lot when we're live, because I'm reading chat instead of listening. But I'll have a video up tomorrow explaining what happened today. I'll keep my eye out for new filings. I do expect the court to now get inundated with new motions and things. And I'll bring those to you as they come up, and we'll go through them. Certainly, Lori Hellis is around. Maybe her and I can do a live in a couple of days and talk about what's happening when we learn a little bit more about what happened today. Because there's a lot we didn't hear and a lot that I want to know. So I'm certainly going to dig into that. But before we go, let's take some questions from chat. Anything you guys want to ask about the case that maybe we can answer. But Sherry starts with, why is Pryor's face always red? Jess, you want to take that one?
Nope. Somebody did ask that they didn't see them wave Lori and Chad being there. We didn't get the very, very beginning of the thing, correct?
Yep. They had some private housekeeping matters before they went live, so we didn't get to see that.
Okay.
So unfortunately, we don't know.
I don't know why his face is red. It couldn't be those 3 martini lunches or anything. I have no idea.
Yep. Kathleen Hensel, will they still be doing the trial in August for Lori's charges in Madison County? Those are still on the docket, although I do expect them to actually be dropped. I really think that's what's going to happen. But as it stands right this minute, yes, that trial is still on for her misdemeanor charges over in Madison County. So we'll see what happens there. Layshell asks, is it common for motions to be filed to combine them separate defendants? Do you get one bite at this apple? It is kind of common. Well, I mean, joint trials aren't that common, but it's common enough that most of us anticipated the motion for severance a long time ago. I'm surprised it took this long. So that's not a real big surprise. Will it be granted? I would pretty much guess, yes, it will be granted. I do think so.
Which one do you, if they separate it, which one would you want to see go first, Chad or Lori?
Chad.
Chad.
Honestly. Okay. Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Just curious.
Yep. Lori can sit in jail for 6 months while Chad has trial on these 4 charges. Because certainly if Chad is convicted on the conspiracy to conceal or destroy evidence, Lori would kind of have to be guilty of that by default. No? So, that's what I kind of see happening.
True. Like this today, we were talking about the Rosenbaum trial earlier, and not only did they join those trials, they took the same daggone lawyer. Big mistake. If Joe Rosenbaum had taken a different lawyer and taken a trial by himself, I think he might have walked. I do, instead of getting 30 years and went down with that ship of a wife of his.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Jenny Stern says, I know there isn't a statute of limitations, but each week that goes by gets us closer to the trial. Makes me really worried Chad and Lori won't be charged with conspiracy to commit murder. I think they will be. I don't think they're going to escape that. There's nothing really they can do to escape that.
There's no statute of limitations on murder charges.
Yep.
So that doesn't matter. Plus their kids.
Kresha says, thank you, Justin Love, and congrats to you and your lovely wife on baby G. I made a wall hanger with her name, but failed to send it to you in time. Give her kisses from our family. Oh, that's so sweet, Kresha. Little baby G. She's going to rock this case. Monique says, the kids were found on his property. No getting around that. Sorry, Monique, you're absolutely right. And Chad's cell phone was in the yard at the times that those bodies were being interred, so to speak. So he can't get around that. He just can't.
But devil's advocate here, if Tammy was still alive, I know this would be a completely different case if Tammy was still alive. What could they have charged Tammy for knowing that the kids were found in her yard? I mean, none of us believe Tammy had anything to do or knew about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
I don't. That's why I think the cell phone pings.
Yeah.
That's why I think the cell phone pings are the most important, because not only were they in his yard, but he was there in the yard at the time with Alex. So that kind of ties that up nicely. Somebody asked, what are the actual current charges? Currently, we have 3 misdemeanor charges for Lori in Madison County, which include a contempt of court for when she didn't show up for that court hearing back in February of 2020. Those are minor. In Fremont County, Lori has 2 charges of conspiracy to conceal or destroy or alter evidence, one for JJ and one for Tylee. Chad has the 2 conspiracy charges, as well as 2 actual charges of concealing, destroying, or altering evidence, one for JJ and one for Tylee. So those are the only current charges that we're dealing with. So, and Danielle, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that so much. It's good to see you. We've been talking on Twitter a whole lot lately. So great to see you here. So let's see. Next question. Am I wrong? But didn't people hear a gunshot on the day Tylee died? Nope, that is actually incorrect. Nobody reported a gunshot on that day. Neighbors say that they did hear a gunshot like months ago when Chad shot a raccoon running on the fence. So a similar story, but nobody reported an actual gunshot on that day. So
only Chad. But Chad said he fired a gun on that day in a text to Tammy. That's where that comes from. So nobody else has verified it. He just said it in a text. It's crazy, all the details that we have. And you kind of have to go back to, okay, where did they come from? So you have to kind of reset what you actually know and what you think you know.
Okay, there's a couple questions about Lori's charges in Madison County. They're very minor. They're misdemeanors. One is a contempt of court. I forget what the other 2 are off the top of my head, but they're very minor and they're inconsequential. It really wouldn't matter if they dropped those. Honestly, I know, we all want her to be charged with everything, but it would be more of a hindrance to everything going on for them to go through with that, but we'll see what happens. They don't have to drop them, but I just think that they will.
Aren't they desertion charges for the kids?
Those were dropped. Those were dropped because she didn't desert them because they were deceased. So
yeah. I thought that
Yeah.
was the ones that they could drop. I don't know then what the other two charges are.
Yeah. Thank you, Emily, for the super chat. Look at that super sticker. That's what I feel like right now, trying to cover this case, flying through the air, trying to get a clue of what's going on. Let's see. Got K says, wait, so Chad shot a random raccoon months before, and then he told the same story to Tammy, and she didn't say again? Exactly, Got K. Yep. There's an interview somewhere, maybe East Idaho News. Maybe Justin has it. One of them has it, where there was a neighbor that interviewed, I think it might have been Eaton, where he said that Chad had shot a raccoon back in the summer or something. So it was months before this happened. So
You know, reading that text exchange, and I know it's probably out of context or whatever because we only have a snippet of it. But when he is trying to tell that story to Tammy in a text message, oh, I'm going to go to the school to write. This is what happened today, blah, blah, blah. She just answers like, yeah, okay, whatever. I think she was so uninterested. I wonder if she thought he's cheating on me or something. Because that text message sounded so like, yeah, whatever you go do, whatever. I don't care what you're doing right now.
Kathy Lawrence, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate that support. That really helps me be able to do this all day long because I need therapy. I gotta pay my therapy bills dealing with this case. Ashley Kane asks, was Rob Wood talking about dropping some charges today? I didn't hear that, but then again, when we're live and I'm reading chat, I miss a lot. So I will go back through the hearing with a fine-tooth comb. I will consult with Lori Hellis. We'll get all the details for you. And we'll probably do a live to talk about it later in the week when we get some more motions so we know exactly what's going on. I don't like having so much behind the scenes, so much sealed, so much stuff that we don't understand, which makes everything seem a little disjointed. But we'll work it out for you, and we'll figure it out.
I wouldn't, seeing that Rachel hasn't been added to Lori's case yet, it's not going to be surprising to me if we don't see charges until that goes through a hearing. Like you're not looking for that, are you? Until she's added.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I don't expect new charges until that's all dealt with, but we need to find out why that has not been dealt with yet. What's going on with Lori situation? So
it's interesting. I don't know. Something's definitely going on.
Mm-hmm. Why would the judge rule to combine their cases, but then agree to separate them later? There's a lot of reasons for that. I don't want to speculate. Let me get with Lori Hellis first and probably bring her on maybe over the weekend when we do a live and we'll address that. But there are a lot of reasons why that would happen. I'm just surprised it took this long. So we're going to have to wait. But let me consult before I speculate on that too much because I don't want to put any rumors out into the rumor mill. And Judy asks, Awen, was that the same neighbor that has since also passed away? I don't think so, Judy. I think this was someone else. Yeah, I think it was a different neighbor.
I'm not a lawyer, but isn't the whole point was they could do these hearings at the same time, but not necessarily. They probably thought they were going to separate the trial part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be my non-lawyer answer, is so they could have all these hearings without having to do them all separate.
Yeah. Jillian asked, if they add charges, do they have to get Rachel Smith approved for the new charges? I do not believe so. I believe that right now she has been named as a prosecutor in the case against Chad. So whatever charges come up in that case, she will automatically have that ability to prosecute them. That's what I think. Anyway, I'll double check on that, but that should be because she's working with Rob Wood, who is a special prosecutor. So it gives her that whole thing. So
if they're asking that about being a death penalty case, like the defendant lawyers have to be approved for a death penalty or certified, not approved. But she's a prosecutor and she's already done what, over 90 death penalty cases? Was it 90 or 70 or something?
Something like that. She's done a lot. Yep.
She's done a lot.
Mm-hmm. So, my goodness, another day, another crazy turn in this case. What's happening? I don't know, but I will certainly do my digging. I'm doing a lot of work in the background of this case. A lot of information that I'm going to be dropping, at least in video form. Certainly a lot of stuff we've already heard, like a complete background on Melanie Gibb and on all of her cohorts and all of these people, just to have videos we can have for points of reference. But I'm working on all that. So I guess I'll do a live over the weekend. I want to wait a couple days to see what drops in the court the next couple of days. I anticipate some motions coming up, and I will get with Lori Hellis, and my goodness, see when she is available to talk about some of these legal twists and turns, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Tell you what.
Can I answer one more thing out of the chat?
Of course.
Yeah, somebody's asking about had the kids been buried yet. The bodies will not be turned over until this goes through the trial, in case they have to test anything. So
Yep.
no, they have not been buried and should not expect that anytime soon. The state still
Mhm.
has custody of their bodies.
Yep. And Marilyn
It's so
Irwin
sad.
asks, Marilyn wants to know, when do we think Tammy's autopsy results will come to light? Not for a while. Certainly not until we see charges or something, or what they're going to do. We don't know what's in the autopsy. There may not be charges coming. Rob Wood may just be using it for leverage right now. We're just going to have to wait and see. So, but I don't think we're going to hear. Right. We don't know if they will. So
Yeah.
we're not going to hear about Tammy's autopsy for a little while.
We might not see autopsy results till this goes to trial and it comes out in court. Yeah.
Yep. Idahoan is asking what time in Discord for chat. I'm not sure, but we're in Discord all day. So if you want to chat, just hop over. It's 24 hours chat program, so we're always there. Angel asks, anything new on Jason Mao, and shocked he isn't in this more. And Miss Wee Lassie says to Jess, thanks for the live today. Much appreciation to both of you. As far as Jason Mao, as far as I know, he hasn't been called. He's not on any witness list yet. But there's a lot about Jason Mao that we're going to have to talk about. I've avoided talking about him for a lot of reasons, because I'm not crazy. But we are going to have to get into him, and I am preparing a video with all of the information that I have on Jason Mao. But I have to present it in a way that is certainly not accusatory. I'm not going to accuse him of a crime in a video on YouTube. That's not really a good idea for me. But anyway, yeah, Jason Mao. We will talk about him. We definitely will. So
his name is suspiciously not in places that it should be. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like everybody else, people talk about, oh, where was so-and-so? Where was so-and-so? This guy isn't anywhere. He was at a whole lot of these places from what we gather.
And Kresha, I feel the same way that you do. I agree with you 100% about that guy. Captain Moroni. Yeah. Or as we call him affectionately, Captain Macaroni. Not any.
Captain Macaroni.
Yes. No offense meant towards LDS members, but just to pick on Jason Mao, because whatever. Yeah, so we'll get into him at some point. Lori asks, Lori Schillen, can't remember, they are both able to bond out, right? Yes, they are currently. They're both on at least $1 million bond, a little bit more for Lori because of her other charges as well. But currently they have not been able to raise the funds to bond out. Let's hope it stays that way.
Everybody made such a stink about how much not everybody, how much her bail was, or her bond was to get out. It was overkill. Do you know that the Hutchinson boy that's missing, and his mom and her boyfriend are under arrest for murder?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that her bond was set at $5 million?
Yep.
Yep.
That was Lori's original bond too.
Yep. But do you remember all the hearings we sat through? Because it was overkill. Yeah.
Yep, I'm going to get a link. Someone mentioned a video of Jason Mao, and there is one up of an interview he did over on Kresha's channel. I'm going to drop a link to that in chat in case any of you aren't subbed to Kresha. Please do that. She also has some amazingly beautiful videos of JJ. One she just put up the other day about JJ as a baby with his birth parents, and he's just sitting there. It looks like he's on his daddy's tummy, just making little baby gurgly noises. Oh, my heart. So yeah, please go sub to Kresha. She's got a lot of very interesting videos up on her channel about the case. Somebody mentioned Gabe Vanilla. Yep, we're going into Gabe too. Gabe is a big deal in this. So
that's Bishop Gabe, right? Yeah.
Bishop Gabe Vanilla. Yep. He's another problem. Also, here's a question for chat. I have a question for you guys for a change. I have heard a rumor Again, you know how I feel about rumors, but I'd like to be able to verify this. I have heard a rumor that Melanie Gibb and David Warwick have already separated, even though they just got married. If you can confirm that with actual evidence, like real confirmation, please let me know, because I would like to know for sure if that's true or not. I've been asking around. No one seems to be saying anything, but if you can find out, let me know, because that has been brought to me, and it would kind of make sense. What do you think about Dave and Melanie, Jess?
I think, well, I've said since I think the first time I said anything publicly was whenever we had your End of the World live stream party. I think Melanie's up into her eyebrows involved in this, and I'm surprised that they haven't charged her with anything yet. I definitely think she's involved big time.
Yep.
And
Yep.
if something comes out, I don't know how much David Warwick was in on it. I don't know as much about David Warwick as you do. I haven't dug around, but Melanie's put herself out there offering all these interviews and all these excuses and written books and gone on and on and on. And it has not helped her. I think she was the useful idiot to be around.
Mm-hmm.
Keep talking, Melanie. Keep talking. Don't get a lawyer and keep talking.
Yep. So yeah, I don't know if they have separated, but it's a rumor that came to me from someone kind of in the know. So that makes me want to look into it. Normally I just like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, let's find out. It could be totally a rumor.
If something happened that she got excommunicated because charges came or whatever, I could see him dropping her like a hot potato. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I could see that.
Yep. And remember, it's only because of David Warwick pressuring Melanie that she went to the police, 9 or 10 days after she had lied to them about having JJ with her. It was because of him. He made her do that. So right there, there's got to be some contention between them. So we'll have to find out. But I would not be surprised, but I want to know for sure before we put that out into the wider universe. So if anybody knows, if you find anyone that knows someone, please just let me know. That would be great to find out. Oh, all right. Anything else? Well, yeah.
She wore a black dress when they got married. So let's go into the psychology of that. Yeah. I don't know.
Yep. All right. Is there going to be a hearing on Mark Mean's objection to Rachel Smith? Brennan, there's going to be a hearing on the Pro Hac Vice motion to introduce Rachel Smith as a prosecutor for Lori's case. That should have happened the same time they did it for Chad's, but there's a reason that it didn't happen. That reason so far is sealed, and we don't know why, but there will eventually have to be a hearing on that. So we're just going to have to wait and see. Unless they know something that we don't know where she's not needed for Lori's case. I don't know. But as soon as I find any actual information on that, I will bring it to you. But all we know right now is there's a reason the judge didn't hear it, and we don't know what that is. So we got to find that out.
So while everybody's waiting for you to make a video, they need to go to my channel and watch my hedgehog video.
That's right. Let's drop a link. So I'm sure one of the mods has a link to Jess Nelson's channel called Mistrial. She has her new baby hedgehog, Penelope Prickle Pants, who is now a part of the family. So go check out Jess's channel. She's also covering the Letitia Stout case and the recent letter she sent the judge. My goodness, you got to read that. Angela Tester asked, what do they mean by severance? What the motion for severance is to separate Lori's trial from Chad's trial. So they have two totally separate trials instead of hearing them at the same time. So
it's crazy.
Yeah. All right. So I guess that's it. Anything else on your mind that you want to talk about today, Jess?
No, I think we got so much information, but I think it just brought more questions and not really answered any of the other ones.
Agreed. 100%.
Yeah.
Diet Coke Lisa. I like that name. Did the judge ever ask if Lori waived her right? We missed that part. They didn't go live for that part. They did some housekeeping before the stream was brought live, and they must have discussed it then, but we didn't get to see. So now we still don't know if the judge asked about Lori's appearance. Goodness gracious. I need to know these things.
I just want to make the comment that John Pryor makes a better secretary than a lawyer. That's it.
Okay.
They didn't have a court reporter, so they asked him to take down all the notes and write everything down. He made a very good secretary.
Yes, you
I
did.
would much rather see him as a secretary than a defense lawyer.
Mhm. Snickers is asking about James Hutchinson. We are following that case. It's getting a little crazy, so as soon as we know more, we'll be able to make some more appropriate statements about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's my kind of case right there.
yep. All right, so what's going on? There's a link to Lori Hallis's website. Please sign up for her newsletter. It's really good. I'm going to try and get her on some in the next 4 or 5 days so we can talk about this hearing and motions that I expect to see by the end of the week. So we'll go over all of that for you. Remember, tomorrow night, every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central, Jess and I do our live stream discussion on narcissism and narcissistic abuse and recovery. So please join us here. That is for all Patreon and channel members. And when the topics are safe enough to make public, I will make them public later. But just for the safety of the people in the discussion and conversations, we keep that side sort of private. But that happens tomorrow. And stay tuned for any more news in the case. I'll bring it to you as soon as it happens. Please subscribe to Jess at Mistrial. Please subscribe to Kresha to see some really great footage that you're not going to see anywhere else. And that's that. Stay tuned. We'll be covering everything. So thank you all for being here. I really appreciate the support. Thank you to everyone for the super chats and the new channel members and all that great stuff. I'm excited, but I got to go to work because this hearing, I got to go tear it apart and see what actually happened. But there'll be a video on that probably tomorrow morning. So thank you for being here, everyone. Jess, thank you for joining me. I know we were prickly today, but having you here makes everything better.
Oh, thanks for having me.
All right, guys, take care. And if you want to talk to us, we'll be in Discord. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.
Oh, wait, before I turn it off, we just got another super chat from Henrietta Erasmus. Thank you so much for the super chat. See you next time. That's a great sticker. And Sugar Smacks, welcome to Reese's Pieces. Very glad to have you. Okay, now I'm leaving for real. Talk to you guys soon.